Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's wonderful to see you here in person. We don't have that many occasions to see in person, so it's wonderful to be back here. And of course, it's even more wonderful to be here together with the ambassador of Nauru and to be together with the ambassador of the United States. And it's particularly Margo and I who are very happy today because we, and that is the group of Friends of Climate and Security, will be joined by the United States. The group of friends was created in 2018, and Nauru and Germany have been sharing this and driving forward the subject, and we are very proud that within a very short span we were able to now have 56 members. On the climate issue in general, you all know that all our countries, we see this as one of the, if not the biggest challenge to mankind, and we also recognize that climate change has on a global scale effects on security. And this is the issue that has driven us forward. And you can imagine that Nauru and Germany and all the members of the group of friends were extremely happy when with the Biden administration we have not only seen the return of the United States to the Paris Climate Agreement, but we have now heard from the President also and afterwards from the State Department, and we have it here today, that the United States will also engage on the subject of climate and security. We have brought, as a group of friends, the issue on the agenda here. We believe that we have to drive this theme forward. We have done this, Germany has done that together with 9 other members of the Security Council during our membership in the Security Council to bring the topic into the Security Council. Together with, we were 10 countries to actually propose to adopt a resolution on the issue, which highlights the effects, which also demands from the UN system to look at the origins, to look at what can be done, what the UN system can do to actually react early, to have more knowledge about it, and see that the UN system is concentrated, is focused on climate security, and to do the adequate. Germany outside the Security Council will continue to work on this. We'll have, in general, in May, the Petersburg Climate Dialogue. We work very closely together with our British friends, I think as we all do, in preparation of COP26, which we want to have a success. Going back again to here, we were also very happy that the subject of climate and security remained on the agenda of the Security Council, in particular during the presidency of our British friends. So again, we are extremely happy, Linda, that the United States is back on the climate and security issue. And I would like to ask you to take the floor, and after Margo, that you take the floor, and afterwards we're happy to respond to questions which are related to the subject climate and security. Linda.
So thank you so much, and again, delighted to be here with you. As you know, this past year, the United States experienced extreme wildfires, devastating hurricanes, dangerous and unprecedented storms, as well as a blackout. And we were far from alone in that experience. Monsoons and droughts and rising sea levels, toxic air pollution. It doesn't matter where you live, climate change is a challenge for every person in every nation and on every single continent. This is a critical issue for the United Nations, especially because the threat isn't just to all of our climates. It's also a collective security issue for all of us. The Pentagon has declared climate change both a national security threat and a threat multiplier. That's because unpredictable and extreme weather will make vital resources like food and water even more scarce in impoverished countries. Scarcity spurs desperation, and desperation, of course, leads to violence. What more, at its current pace, the climate crisis is set to drive millions, and I did say millions, from their homes, propelling on mass migration that will undermine peace and security around the world. Worst of all, so many of the world's most fragile states and regions are the very same nations that are most vulnerable to climate calamities. The good news is we can build resilience, we can stave off security threats, and we can even generate economic opportunity if we work together. And that's why we were proud to rejoin the Paris Agreement hours after President Biden was sworn into office. It's why we are encouraging everyone to join us in raising ambitions in advance of the Leaders Summit on Climate that President Biden is hosting on Earth Day. And it's why today I'm thrilled to be standing with my colleagues from Nauru and Germany to announce the United States has officially joined the UN Group of Friends on Climate and Security. The Group of Friends is multilateralism at its best. For several years now, they have been on the forefront of all of our efforts to address these dual and intertwined threats. But now together, we can coordinate our work. We can do everything in our power to curb conflict caused by climate crisis. So we stand ready and we stand together to support the co-chairs of the Group of Friends, and we look forward to making the climate crisis a key part of our agenda in every single body that we work in, including in the Security Council and across the United Nations. So thank you very much, and I look forward to your questions.
Thank you. I have a few brief remarks. I don't memorize them, but this is a great opportunity. As you can tell, this is my first time standing here in a Stakeout with Security Council with these colleagues. So let me first just reiterate that the discussions at the United Nations on the security implications of climate change have come a long way over the past decade. Some countries literally laughed us out of the room when the Pacific Small Island developing states first proposed a General Assembly resolution on the issue. However, since our 2009 resolution was unanimously adopted and the Security Council agreed to a similar presidential statement 2 years later, the tenor of the debate changed quite significantly for us. So it is now probably safe to say that nearly every country recognizes the serious threat that climate change poses to international peace and security. This is a serious matter that implicates every country's national interests. So moving from talk to action, that has not always been easy, but we must broaden our coalition of communities, of countries seeking a concrete response from the UN system. So therefore, as a co-chair along with Germany, I am very pleased to welcome the United States to the Group of Friends of Climate and Security. And the Group of Friends, as my colleague has said, has now 56 countries that span the globe in its membership, and we're working together to identify the appropriate role for the United Nations when addressing existential threat of climate change. We do have a position on this, so maybe I would just, what would a robust UN response look like for us? So our members have a proposed plan of action that calls for regular reporting by the Secretary General on the security implications of climate change, the appointment of a special representative for climate and security, climate-sensitive prevention, mediation, and peace building, training for all relevant UN personnel on the implications of climate change on peace and security and humanitarian crisis, and finally, more cooperation with civil society, regional and national actors on climate-related securities. We have noted the UN has taken some initial steps in this direction, both within the UN Secretariat and the Security Council itself, but we need to move much faster to ensure the UN has that capacity to respond to the profoundly dangerous and potentially destabilizing impacts of climate change. The United States was instrumental to the development and ultimate adoption of the Paris Agreement. I expect that they will bring that same level of commitment to coordinated international action to the group of friends in climate and security. On a personal note, welcome Ambassador Linda Thomas-Greenfield, and we look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Margo. We take, of course, questions. We go from left to right, please.
Thank you very much. My question is for Madam Ambassador Linda Thomas-Greenfield. My question is that the UN has just put out a new system of economic environmental accounting. What does the United States make of this framework? And do you think that new international standards need to be put in place for how we measure economic growth, considering the damage to the environment?
I don't know that I'm the expert on that issue, but absolutely I can say without a doubt that we support any efforts that will highlight the impact that climate change is having on countries, and any effort to actually codify and collect data on that would be something that we would be very much supportive of. So I encourage the UN in those efforts, and I think all of us would agree climate change does impact economies. We've seen the impact that climate has had on economies, particularly in countries, in developing countries. So this is a good effort from my standpoint.
Yes.
James Bays, Al Jazeera. If I can ask Ambassador Thomas-Greenfield, we're 2 weeks to the day of the climate summit that's being organized by President Biden. What are you hoping to achieve in 2 weeks' time? And if I can ask the other two ambassadors to perhaps put this year in context. We have the climate summit at President Biden in 2 weeks. We have COP26 at the end of the year. How important is 2021 going to be on this issue? Could you take your mask off?
Oh, sorry. Certainly, the climate summit that's being hosted by the president is a reaffirmation of our commitment and an affirmation of our commitment moving forward to all climate efforts. We will be complementing those events that will be taking place afterwards, but this will be an opportunity for leaders to come together to recommit and reaffirm, and also hear from us on our renewed efforts to support the climate agenda.
Margo, you want to say something?
So, as I explained in my remarks, we've been pushing for political will to address climate issues for a very long time. So for us, Nauru is now one of the global champion on energy, and we see also that effort that the SG has put forward is also something that will culminate towards the COP26. So we see all these efforts done separately, both by individual countries and especially with the United States. The UK summit, development and summit, the Italy efforts, the US efforts, all of these will culminate for us to a very big, hopefully ambitious and bold actions in COP 2021. So we look forward to those, and as I said, all the activities that the SG has currently run actually means a parallel impact for all as we move forward to COP26. So thank you.
Just very, very briefly to answer your question, 2021 is key. Not that we lost 4 years, but the last 4 years have been difficult. We have seen the old US administration not being a driving force. To have the US back as a driving force is key. We have COP, I mentioned before, Germany has been always also a driving force. By the way, the Security Council presidential statement in 2011 was during the German presidency in the Security Council, so we have been active on this. We do the Petersburg Climate Dialogue, and Germany will fully support all efforts. We have this year, hopefully ending COVID-19. we all said that we want to build back better, and when building back better, we have to do this keeping in mind that when we do that, we do this, everything we do have the climate issue in mind. So for us, 21 is key.
Thank you very much. I have sort of a double-edged question. The Friends of Climate and Security, how many of the 193 UN member states are part of this group? And what specifically can this group do at this time to really make a significant impact on tackling climate change?
Well, the group, as we said before, has 56 members. All 56 members are members of the United Nations. What is very important, and I think if we wish to, we probably could have even larger group. What we looked, and then you can see this reflected in the chair, we have this as a balanced group where countries from all geographical regions are representative, also to underline the fact that this is a global challenge. What can the group do? What can the UN do? I mean, what can we do? We keep this item on the agenda. We have regular meetings. We have, you know, the action plan that was proposed by my colleague from Nauru is something that also then went into the draft resolution that 10 members worked on. We drive forward the climate and security mechanism that is within the Secretariat. So we keep it on the agenda. We develop ideas, and this is what the UN can do and has to do. I mean, this is the place where the whole world gets together, and this is a place where you can start global action and support global action. Yes, please.
Thank you. Mr. Heusgen, last July, you had a draft resolution for the Security Council on the climate change ready to go. Do you plan to put it back on the table of the Security Council, maybe with the help of America? And in this draft resolution, you had this proposal to have a special envoy for climate. What are your thoughts about this idea, three of you? Thank you.
Well, thank you. As you probably know, Germany is not a permanent member of the Security Council, and right now we are not in the.
You have America now. You can
Yes.
have the help from America.
No, we have at the time we had the 10 members of the Security Council that subscribed to it. We know from the new member states that are now replaced the outgoing 5 that they are also dedicated to the issue. We have heard now from the US ambassador that she's dedicated it, and it's for the members in the Security Council to find the appropriate moment to put it out of the shelf, to table it the way that it was drafted, to make amendments, this is, we have to see the members in the Security Council. We know they're dedicated, they find the right moment. The envoy. You have heard from my colleague in Nauru that this is something that is on the agenda of the group of friends. We believe that to have a person that is identified with the issue will drive the subject forward. It's a bit like the US government by appointing John Kerry, somebody who has such a fantastic reputation to be the focal person of the US administration on this subject. And maybe John Kerry could be double-headed, I don't know. It's something that we would, a personality. We have seen that in the past on other issues, is somebody who can drive a process forward.
As a newly minted member of the Security Council, into my second month, and I can say categorically, I don't know what happened with the other resolution. President Biden has laid out 5 priorities for this administration, and climate is one of those priorities. So the Friends can be assured that we will be committed to supporting efforts to address this issue, including within the Security Council. And again, having former Secretary Kerry, now Special Envoy Kerry, leading the forefront for us, you can be assured that we will be extraordinarily proactive.
Okay, thank you very much for meeting us.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.